Good afternoon. Today is the 25th of May and this is the Enfield Pageant of Motoring, part 2 of the started Shambolic Shuffle. I do apologise for the announcement. I'm afraid there's nothing I could do about them. For wind noise, for the correct information, if I fall over, if this is a terrible video, I'm afraid it's just the way that it goes on this channel. So we have an HC Viva here. Looks a bit more powerful than one that I drove last year, which was just a basic 1256 car from 1972. This one is a 73-74 on an M. Behind it we've got this Ford Transit. I'm not actually sure if that's a petrol or a type of fuel we can't talk about on the channel, so we'll have to skip over that for now and go on to this lovely sport hatch. 1976-77 on an R. This was an estate version of the Viva with the front end from a droop snoot Magnum. They were, I think, pretty much only made in this colour. It's a wonderful car. Wonderful car. 2.3 slot 4 engine with a 5-speed gearbox. And then we've got the droop snoot. Sorry, not Magnum, Firenze. Droop snoot Firenze here. 74-75. Can't remember if these had the, yeah, that's got the 5-speed gearbox. That's only up to 4-speed for some reason. Strange. This is what most of them actually came in this colour that I've seen. Someone's a member of the Droop Snoot group there on the back. And there's Bagpuss, who's about the same age as the car.
Everybody having a good time, let me say yeah.
So yeah, you can see the nose cone from the Droop Snoot Firenzes was then put onto the estates to make the sports hatch. They had a surplus of them for some reason. Earlier Viva here, this is an HB, 1967-68. You can see the front end of the HC is quite different from the HB. I can't remember exactly now how similar these are sort of underneath. I forget now. But yes, the HB's, I think, the rarest ones I've ever seen. 67-68 and then 74-75 on an N. I think I've definitely seen this car before. I can't remember what show I've seen it at, but I've definitely seen this one before. And another HC Viva here. This one is at a much higher specification. This is like an SL or something. We'll have a look at the back. Yeah, it is an SL. I'm doing better than I normally am with these. Yeah, 71-72, and then an HA van. These were made until 1983, although it's still based on the first generation Viva, which we call the HA most of the time. That is a 73-74, and then this will be some kind of Magnum, modified Magnum probably, with the 2.3 slant 4. Yeah, that looks pretty mean, doesn't it? Same basic body shell though as the HC Viva. Again, 71-72. That's a late HB. You can tell immediately by the side of it, which is very different from the HC. And this is I think a Brabham GT, we call them. Both 69-70, both of these. Slightly earlier one here, 68-69 on a G. Can't remember what brake horsepower these were actually at the moment. Forget now. I don't think they continued to the HCs. I think we had things like the Magnums and the Firenzes after that. That's the back of one of them. It's a handsome design actually. And then a Mark 1 Golf GTI, because why not? With the Pirelli alloy wheels. This is quite a late one actually. Discontinued in 84, so 83-84 on an A plate. I almost skipped this Vauxhall Viva 1800 Deluxe. That's a rare specification. Most of the Vivas actually had the 1.3 engine. I didn't realise you could get a 1.8. It was very confusing in the range between the Magnums, the Firenzes and the Vivas. I get really sort of confused between all of them. And I've just spotted something on the side of this Transit. It's got a V6 engine in it. If you can talk about it, isn't that wonderful? So Mark II pre-facelift Transit, 1980 to 1983. So we've got some Crayfords here. Most of them are Mark II Cortinas, although there's some other cars here as well. 68, 69 on a G, with some Dunlop alloy wheels on it. I wonder, oh, it's a Lotus one, that one. Wow. I forgot they've made a Lotus version of the convertible Mark II. I was expecting it to be more like this 600 GT, 69 to 70 on an H. Look at the amount of fake wood in here. So typical of that time period in cars. And then another one, again a GT, again 69 to 70. Southampton plate on that one. And then we've got a Mark III. Now these must be quite rare, surely. 74, 75 on an N. I wonder if this is a GT as well. We did make a GT. There it is. With raw power. One of them's on a truck there. Looks to me, let's look at the rear lights. That's a Mark V. And here is what it looks like when it's finished. This is actually by car bodies as opposed to Crayford, this Mark V Cortina. Someone's also put a Type 9 gearbox in that, sorry. Be what, 1980, something like that. But another very nice looking Mark II Crayford 6970. I wonder if this is also a GT.
Series 2.6.
Oh, it's a 1300 Deluxe Automatic. Why would you want a 1300 Deluxe Automatic and make it a convertible? But I suppose somebody did. I mean, it's got a base leather interior with wood views, so you know there's some compensation, isn't it? Lots and lots and lots of Fords here today, just like the Bromley Pageant. Lots and lots of Fords. Not too far from Dagenham here, I suppose. Mark III Fiesta. Let's get this right, whether it's like an RS Turbo, an XR2i or RS 1800. That is an XR2i, 1991 to 1992. 1990 Special Edition XR3i Cabriolet. I mean, that is very, very sort of typical of the early 90s, isn't it? To make it look like this, you've got the RS Turbo steering wheel in here as well. Oh, it's got an RS Turbo engine in it. Sort of early max power stuff, isn't it? That sort of thing. And a Super Sport. Now these are rare. They're very rare. I think this would be an 81 if it's a Super Sport. Oh, and then something else very nice. A Sierra XR4i. I think actually they came out about 1983-84, which is the registration of this one. It's had some modifications done to it, that one. And then Mark 5B Escort, this one. I've driven one of these, but it wasn't an XR3i, it was a 1.6 LX. It was a little bit less powerful than this one. These are much better sorted than the original Mark 5s were. Those were a bit of a disaster, to be honest with you. It didn't go very well. What have we got here? Let's read this. Southeastern Vintage and Classic Vehicle Club. Excellent. Stand B4. Oh, another Daimler V8 250. Another late one, 68, 69 on a G. Probably a 68 if it's got a December tax disc in there. And then, my gosh, the first of the RX5s you've seen. That's taken quite a while, actually. Late Mini pickup, 1981 to 1982. Austin Rover logo, but the company wasn't called Austin Rover quite yet. Then this looks very similar to the Mini that was used in the first episode of Mr. Bean in 1990. It's not. I don't remember if that car's still around or not. This actually is a Mark III Mini. That was a Mark II. And this is a Mini 1000, 71 172. I think this is Blaze Red, name of this colour is. Although it is orange, it's called Blaze Red. Leg rows and things also painted in this colour. Oh, that steering wheel. Wonderful. And there he is. I was right to sort of assume it, and there he is. Most Minor 1000 Traveller. Now this, with the wipers that meet in the middle, will be between about 1956 and 1961. Oh, I was right. It's 1960. I'm getting better, viewers. I'm not completely ignorant about everything. And then there's one of these Morris Oxfords, which is similar to the Hindustan Ambassador, which finished production in India, I think, in 2013. I have been in one of those in India on the way back, on the way to the airport. It was about 2014. It's just after being discontinued, and it didn't look massively different from this. The handling was all over the place, though. It was a bit scary in that regard. And then one of these minor-based vans. These days, they weren't marketed as minor vans. They're normally known as minor commercials, just for the sake of ease, because they will call, like, I think things like 600 weight. 68, 69 on a G. Now this, I don't think it's an MGC. It's too late for that. It could be a very early BGT V8. Actually, I don't know. It had something interesting put up on the bonnet, and then 1966 Vauxhall Victor FC101. Amazing. What's really weird about these is how much the track is inboard of this side of the car. Like, you can see how far the wheels go in. Crazy. Those are really rare because they had a terrible reputation of rust back in the day. MG Midget, imagine that's probably a Mark III. And then a Fiat Punto. I think I've seen this before, actually. It's Active Sport. Oh yes, here we go. It's a 2003. One thing I've never driven in my life is a Mark II Punto. I've driven Mark 1s, driven Mark 3s, never a Mark II. Actually, that's not a Mark III at all. That's a rubber bumper one. It's sort of 78, 79 on a T. Fiat 500C in pink. I've driven an Abarth 595. That was interesting. But I'm more fascinated, really, by this Lancia Beta Spider. I've only seen rear lights. I think they're a Mark IV Escort or something, aren't they? Or are they? Somebody let me know. Lancia Beta Spider. Yes, please. A 1980. That is tasty. I'd love to drive one of those, actually, viewers. So we've got an E92 BMW M3 in here, but that's not the main reason I came in here. The main reason I came in here is over there. Yes, viewers, 1974 Ford Granada 3 litre gear automatic, and yes, it's the same colour as the console used in the Sweeney. Oh, viewers, look at this. What a beautiful old car. Very, very tasty indeed. In fact, let's have a look at the interior of this. That looks really nice. Yeah, I have driven one of these. It was a 1972 2.5 GXL automatic, actually. One what I drove. That's really great. Isn't that fantastic? Right, viewers. 1966 Ford Corsair taxi. In the film Carry On Cabby, the cars used are Cortinas, but this is a Corsair. It's a V4 one, must be an early V4, deluxe model. And then we got some other vintage taxis. There's just a bit more variety actually back in the day. Really the only ones you see these days are the TX series, and then I can't remember what the brand new ones are called with the range extender in it. Anyway, this is an Austin one. Can't remember exactly the year of that. And it's a Beardmore, 1955, another make that has disappeared, one with a Winchester cab. Yeah, you know, I doubt you've heard of that as well. Beardmore Mark 7, 1955. Luggage is all in there. I mean, that you've got to strap it in carefully. That might all fall off. Lots of nice accommodation for the passengers. The driver, he gets a bit of a bum deal, really. And we did for quite a while. These ones, I think we're going to have to skip most of them because I don't think we've got engines in them that we can talk about. How about this one? Might have a petrol engine in it, this FX4. I don't know though. Got plastic door handles, so perhaps we don't. This FX3 though, I think will have a petrol engine in it. This is probably from the 50s. In a very old series from sort of 69 70 called Strange Report, the main character, played by Anthony Quayle, actually drives one of these. It would have looked so out of place actually at the time. And we've got another one here, I think. These came out, I think, 1948. They look like they're pre-war, but I think they were made until 58 when the FX4s came out. And then, just for some fun, we've got a lovely Bentley here. I'm just trying to work out if this is a P6. I don't think it is. I think this is a different model, but it could be. Yeah, fabulous. Oh, viewers, it's the Princess Enthusiast stand. Now, I have actually driven a Princess and an Ambassador. The Ambassador's not appeared on the channel yet. I drove it earlier this month. The gentleman who owns it was going to bring it down here, but he lives a long way from here and he didn't actually make it. But yeah, 79 Princess. They're not called Austin Princesses, they are just Princesses. Thanks to BL's really confusing marketing. That's the 1700 HL. It's one from the bottom. So same sort of era. This one. This is a 2000 HLS. Both of them have the O series engine in them, which is also used in the Ambassador. Seeing if we can spot a more luxurious one. The HLS. No, sorry. No, scrap that. Before the Princess was called the Princess, it was called the Austin 1800 and 2200, the Morris 1800 and 2200, and the Wolseley Saloon. This is a Wolseley Saloon, or just a Wolseley, how they were marketed, and they lasted for just 6 months. So this is a very, very, very rare car indeed. So that'll be 75 only. As you can see, it just says Wolseley on it. The Princess 2 here is a 2000 HL. Little look down from the HLS. You can see the HLS has got a full vinyl roof. This doesn't. They were actually that bad cars, really. They look, I think, actually quite handsome. Biggest problem is that not even the 2.2s are fast. They're just not. For some reason, they're quite heavy cars, and they just don't perform how you would maybe expect. And they're very comfortable. They're very spacious. Really should have been a hatchback originally, but they changed up with the Ambassador, didn't they, in 1982. But the Wolseley, of course, you don't even get a leather interior or a rev counter. Isn't that crazy? But it's just where we did it. And then we've got something I think we saw last weekend, Vanden Pla. I think this is either a 1.5 or 1.7. By this stage, this is a Mark III based on the Series 3 Allegro. It's very confusing. By the time this car was made, about 1980, they didn't call them 1500. They called them either the 1.7 or 1.5 because the automatic and manuals had different engines. This one is a manual. I can't remember whether this had a 1.7 or 1.5 engine. It's really confusing, but it's a very, very rare car. The Mark IIIs were only made from 1979 to 1980, and I want one. So we've got some Rileys in here. We'll see if I can actually get in this particular stand. I think we can get it through the front. We'll get in a moment, viewers. It's a big old stand, this. This is a Barnet Classic Car Club stand. We're not in the borough of Barnet here, but it's very close. So we'll start off with some Riley RMs. In fact, there are quite a few Riley RMs here. We saw the back of some of them sort of earlier. I can never tell the difference between any of them at all. They're made between, I think, 1947 and 1956 or something. They even made a pickup version, as you can see here. But I cannot remember the difference between all of these at all. I just can't remember. There's RMA always through to RMF, and they just all, to me, look the same. Obviously, if you were an expert in Rileys, you'd be able to tell me that they are different. But to me, I can't tell the difference between any of them. They're very nice, I just don't know enough about them to be able to say anything intelligent. that could probably be a maximum for all my videos. Right. Ooh, Series 3 short wheelbase Land Rover, very late one actually, 1984, right at the end. The last year for me was 1985. I have driven a Series 3 lightweight, which has a different dash from these. This has a much better dash in that you don't have to look down and to the left to see the instruments. This has to run right in front of a driver, which would be better. The gearboxes on them are interesting, should we say. They're not sort of easy particularly, but people like the old Series Land Rovers, so I mustn't say too much about them, I think. Ford Consul Capri, somewhere between sort of 1961 and 64. They didn't make many of them. They had a really bad reputation for sort of rust and things, but I see quite a few of them that have actually survived, and this is a nice looking car. Another Riley, an RMD apparently, that one. And then a nice Rover 3500, a P6. Let's have a look to see if this is an automatic or a manual. That's an auto, so yeah, 3500. On an M, so 73, 74. And a Triumph TR4 with electronic fuel injection. I didn't know you could just fit electronic fuel injection to the old Triumph 4-cylinder engine, but apparently this is what it has. Another Triumph from the same sort of era, 1970 to 71, actually 1970 I can see here. Herald 1360 convertible. I have driven one of these. It was 68 one I drove, and the brakes were not very good. They don't have a servo in them, which is scary. Also, the one that I drove, it had a 1.5 conversion, originally a 1.3 engine, and so it was quite fast. Very nice on those mini light wheels, or style wheels. 1967 Fiat 600D. Someone decided to order this brand new as a right-hand drive model in Italy. Oh, I see, okay. Interesting. Obviously, quite handy round here. I can't remember if they even sold these over here, actually. But that's nice to see. Oh, a Mark III Ford Capri. It's a 3-litre S, 1979. And someone just turned up in a smart crossblade. Because that's just what you do. Wonderful. Brilliant. And then we've got a late Mark 7 Mini here, 1997, 1998, and then a side valve Ford Popular from the 50s. And is this an MGB or an MGC? Let's have a look at the bonnet. Oh, it is an MGC, and that is a 69. So it's quite a late one actually. For some reason it was registered in 1970. That's strange. I think maybe they weren't that popular towards the end. That might explain something. Right, let's move on to the next area because they're still coming in. My gosh, am I ever going to get around this event? I'll have to look at those a bit later. Japanese crossblade is going to have to find somewhere else to park. Whilst we try not to get run over by this Zephyr, we'll have a look at that Mondeo, which apparently is for sale. Wonder where he's going. Maybe it's into the general parking area. Oh yes, a Mondeo ST220 Saloon, that's rare. 2002 to 2003. Yeah, we've got a Merlin engine in the background there, viewers. How much is this? 3495. Full service history. Call Ricky on 07930 736 529. As Mr. Bill from the Fuel Power channel says, this could be yours. I just realised we've missed an entire row in here. MGTC Series 3 Allegro. What specification is this? It's a 1300. It's probably an HL or something. Yeah, it's an HL. I was right. Bit different from this Porsche 911 964. Be sort of 1990, 1991. Next to a 1930s Riley, a subscription that I can't tell you anything about, them. And then 1967-68 MGB, gosh that thing's loud. And then a 1967 Ford Anglia 105. Quite a selection of cars here. And then, Honda S2000, what was the facelifted to S2000? It's a 2005, that one. These are really, really valuable now, these S2000s. I'd love to go on one of those, actually, it'd be fun. And then Midget, 1973, I think this would be. Yeah, it's 73. Did quite well with this, apart from this terrible background noise. A couple of early Rover P6s on this stand, D2. This is a 1964. That'll have the different front balance on it, actually. 64 2000. This is also a 64. Gosh, very early, both of these. I think this is before the TC came out. This one's got the Continental kit on it. That one hasn't. We've got the earlier rear lights as well with the reversing light. The reversing light is at the bottom. Nice Rover 12 here. It's very sporty. And then a very late P6 here, 76, 77. This is a 3500S with a manual gearbox. Just don't fall over anything here, viewers. It's all too easy.
Please give it up for the Lancaster Bomber Spitfire engine. Give David and the team a massive round of applause, everybody. Thank you.
Ooh, right, let's just read this here. 1947. 47. I can't really read that. Over 16. Yeah, it's a big old car, isn't it? It's bigger than the standard ones that I normally see from the period. A couple of P6s here. They're both 3500s. It's a 3500S. Standard 3500. To see if it isn't automatic. Yeah, it is. (1970-71), that's its personal plate, of course. And this one, ooh, is that a beige leather interior, viewers? Very nice. This one is a little bit later. That is a 71-72 on a K. And the Rover 10. This is, what I see more of actually from this sort of period than the 16th. Another Rover 3500. Lots and lots of these here today. 71, 72. Rover 100 would be about 1960 or 61. Then a Rover 16 6-light P2, 1947. And then a Rover 12 from 1934. That's really handsome, isn't it, that car? So for some reason this one's in the next area, but probably belongs in the right-hand stand. Very, very nice P5B. This is a saloon rather than a coupe. I have driven a P5B coupe and it was pretty good. Drove that in 2022. This one is a 71-72. And we've got some interesting vans here. GMC, I think it's a GMC Astro, that one. 1996-1997. The Freelander I'm going to skip for a second because I'm not so sure about certain things about it. That's a Dodge, I think, Dodge Ram. 1997-1998. Bedford CF. Immediately before the sort of major facelift they did, actually, 1980 to 1981. And then here's one of these Thames vans. I forget the actual name for these. A Thames van. Be from about 1960 or something like that. Transit, might have to check that actually. It might have an engine we can't talk about, but it might have a nice big petrol engine, I'm not sure. And then this I think is a Mitsubishi. No, was it Toyota Carina? I get very confused about these. It might be a Carina. I'm going to have to check some number plates for second viewers and get back to you. Right, let's try that again, viewers, and I've got some more information. So GMC Safari, this one is not an Astro, Chevy's the Astro. And this actually is a petrol Freelander. Fantastic. Mark 1, quite a late one, 2005, 2006. This could even be a V6 if I'm very lucky, but I don't think it is. Probably a 1.8k series. And then moving on down a bit here, this Transit is actually also a petrol. It's a 1990. I'd imagine that is a 2-litre Pinto engine. And this is a Toyota Carina. It's 1974. I don't think I've ever seen one of this shape before. So thank you ever so much once again for watching. Please don't forget to subscribe to the channel, like this video and comment below, and we shall see you in the next video for even more incorrect information.